really continuing to layer in simple to add onto your everyday habits. And that's really worked out well too.
Yeah, because I think people, they're like, I want to become this transformatively different person or live a transformatively different life. But really, you're going to get there by making a number of small choices or decisions that, as you said, sort of add up or ultimately compound over time.
Because it's really overwhelming and radical to be like, I'm gonna just change, transform. And like, it doesn't for most people work like that.
No.
It works by taking baby steps and getting momentum. And I found like adding one winning habit every night, 3 months is totally doable.
So like I'm gonna start walking, or I'm gonna stop smoking, or I'm gonna like just things you're gonna start or stop doing, basically.
Yeah, I mean, even just now, like one of the things that I'm working on is just like I'm an interrupter.
Uh,
I'm an interrupter, so I'm really like one Mississippiing in my head after you stop talking.
Look, every once in a while, like, hey, you should really speak up more. But I would say most of us talk too much, not too little.
Right, right. So, those are things that I'm not trying to do 50. I'm trying to slowly
So
layer.
that's 4 a year. You just have to have
Yeah.
4 positive habits a year.
Right.
That's big. I mean, that adds up. Especially if you start doing them, and then next year you add 4 more, and next year you add 4 more, and now some of those habits you're a couple years into, you that is how you become a transformatively different person.
100%. I mean, looking at me, I'm trying to fix the things and add habits that really will help me. So, for example, I've been notoriously late my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm still not great at it, but that's something that I prioritize. Like this month, man, 2026. I'm not going to be late to a meeting.
Yeah.
They're going to look at me like, what? Yeah.
We were planning on you being
Right,
right.
right. And so those kind of things are what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then, layering in these little mini adventures and a big kind of year defining thing on my calendar. And then, look, I'm a big believer in planning.
Yeah.
I'm aggressive with my planning. I feel like most of us play life on defense. Our lives fill up with Zoom calls and other people's requests for time. And I don't think people need more time. I think they need a better system.
Yeah.
And if you have a good operating system, for your personal life.
Yeah.
We have it for our business, right? We put systems in place for operating. But if you have a good operating system for your business, for me, that's my calendar. But where you're really following, like, you're laying out what you want to do. Like my 2026 is baked, fully baked of what I want to do.
Yes.
Family trips, vacations, one-on-one stuff with my wife, with Sarah, the races I want to run, the Masogia, it's all on my calendar. Work's going to fill in around that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can just wake up and wing it. Like, well, I don't know, man. Now it's all of a sudden it's September, and like, oh, I only got like 90 days left of the year. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Especially if you get older and you have more kids. Maybe when you're younger you can do that. But for me, it just doesn't work.
There's a famous story you might like about Alexander the Great. So he's trying to conquer this distant country, and obviously his reputation precedes him. So the rulers of the country sort of get together and they call a meeting, like a parlay, and they go, hey, we'll just give you this land over here. You let us keep this, we'll give you this land over here. And Alexander the Great goes, I didn't like march across the world to take what you're going to give me. He's like, I'm going to take what I'm going to take, and you're going to keep what I give you. And Seneca tells this story because he said this is our relationship with sort of self-improvement versus work, pleasure, etc. Right? He's like, basically, what we do is we let work take up all our time, and then we use the little bit of leftover.
50.
So I think it's interesting what you just said, that like, if you lay out your calendar and you go, here are the important things that I want to do with my family, that I want to do with my health, that I want to get better at, you're like, work will find a way to fill in all the crap.
For sure.
But most of us do it the exact opposite, right? You're like, the presumption is the work gets up the vast bulk of your week and your year, and then you're like, and then I'll make time here or there for family, friends, etc. And then we tell ourselves this lie, of course. We go, and I do it all for my family. It's like the calendar doesn't lie. You did it all for work, and then you gave the scraps, the leftovers, is what your family got. It's what you got. It's what, your spiritual health, all these things that you should also be working on. That gets the leftovers, and we should probably follow it.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm good. One Mississippi. Yes, right. That is no. I mean that I agree. I mean I think work's always going to find you, man. And if you think about how much time most people spend laying out their work schedule and reviewing that, and versus how much time they actually invest in planning their own personal life and adventure and the things they want to do, you know, I just think it's as important to prioritize and plan your personal life as it is your business.
Yeah, to be intentional about what you want to do, as opposed to what most of us do, which is, look, work is paying me money, and if I don't do it, the bill collectors will yell at me, or my boss will yell at me, or my clients will yell at me. So that gets all the focus.
35.
And you're like, the rest of the stuff I'll figure out. Yeah, I'll wing it, or I'll get the leftovers. And like, your kids aren't going to yell at you now for it, but
26.
they'll resent you for it later, or you'll look back and go, hey, here's all the things that I missed that I can't do again.
27.
You know, it doesn't manifest itself in the day-to-day the same way that it does professionally, but you find out when divorce papers come through, or the doctor gives you the diagnosis for some preventable thing.
It's funny because I mentioned that I named that Kevin's rule, you know, that kind of principle.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have had the biggest impact on my life, for the most part, and I've had a lot
30.
that have really impacted me, but the people that have the biggest impact aren't people that have like necessarily millions of followers. They're people in my regular day life that I've come across, friends or associates or whatever. And throughout my journey, I've been naming like tips, like Kevin's rule. I have my mom's rule. I have all these different rules. And you were just talking about your kids or children in general, and it reminded me of like one of the rules that I had that I learned from a basketball camp I was at. He said to me, just talking, he's like, you know, I have a rule that I'm never too tired for my kids. And I love that, and it stuck with me. And that's another. Like, so I have like probably 20 of these rules I've named after people. Maybe one day someone will name a rule after me. But I love that, and I think about it all the time. Like if I come home from a trip and my kids want to have a baseball catch, and I'm like, oh, I'm too tired. You know, like something's wrong. You know. So
about that, like I try to remind myself the pool is never too cold.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that I just
Ryan's rule.
I just got dressed. It's like when they want you to jump in the pool, you jump in the pool. And I don't always do it. You know, it's a rule that I don't always follow, but I certainly feel guilty every time I get it.
37.
What am I prioritizing over this? And it's not a request. It's like an invitation.
38.
You know? That's a rule I got from someone. His name is Russ Roberts. His rule is whenever your child offers their hand, you have to take it.
39.
And obviously, literally, if your kid like wants to hold your hand, you take it. But I think what he really means is like when they're
40.
like, "Dad, you want to play video games?" Or they're like, "Hey, I need to go to the store. Can you take me?" It's basically whenever they are inviting you into their life to do something
41.
with them. You take it.
Yeah, I have a similar rule. It's Ben's dad's rule. My friend Ben
32.
told me this about his dad growing up, and he said that. So for me as a parent, I find myself encouraging my
45,
kids to do
44.
things that I love to do. You know, so I'm like, oh, let's go play basketball. I love playing basketball. And they might not want to do that.
Right.
45.
Ben told me that his father would find out what it is his kids like to do. Like, let's say maybe his son liked to bake. You know, he would then take
46.
baking lessons.
Wow.
And he would do, oh man, it was like I was like crying when he told me this, man. It was like, I loved it.
47.
And his dad would sign up for all these things that his dad had no interest in doing,
Right.
but his kids were interested in it.
I almost broke down. I was in a car once. I was in San Diego going to talk. The driver picks me up, and I was wearing a Metallica shirt or something. And he goes, "Oh, do you like Metallica?"
Oh, nice.
And I go, "Yeah, I do." I was like, "Do you?" You know, and he was like, "Well, I didn't." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "You know, my son is
50.
really into heavy metal." And he's like, so every year I would take him to one heavy metal concert. So he's like, I've seen this band and this band and this band. And he was like, I never liked it. But after, 20 years of this, like I've seen all of them and I am a fan. And I loved it so much, not just because it was sweet, but like it tends to be with music or any kind of like cultural stuff that parents have the exact opposite reaction, right? It's like you like rap music and your parents are like, you can't listen to that, it's not appropriate.
51.
Or, like turn that shit off. Like it's not just that parents tend to not be interested, they're anti-interested. They're like trying to crush that interest. And here, this guy
52.
with a thing, and this would have been quite some time ago, so the music would have been more controversial than it is now. He's going like,
53.
you're interested in it, therefore I'm interested in it, therefore we're doing something together about it. And it's, whenever you hear
54.
stuff like that, it's just the sweetest thing in the world.
Oh
And
my
you're like,
God, yeah.
you gotta do that.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because like
55.
it all goes by so fast, which everybody knows, but you think you're gonna be the age you are forever.
Sure.
And like
Ooh.
it's getting harder to do stuff. Like,
56.
I'm 57, but like how many more relevant years left? Like I was on my I have a lake house and I was taking the kids water skiing over the summer. I didn't see any
57.
7-year-olds water skiing.
Yeah, sure.
When I was on Mount Washington and it got a little busier the second time we went, I didn't see these 70-year-olds going. I'm sure there are, but
Yeah.
like, I didn't see it. Like,
58.
Well, that's the lie people tell themselves about travel and stuff, right? Peter Tia talks about this. Like, you think you're gonna do this when you stop working.
59.
Nobody's having fun traipsing around Italy
No.
when they're 75. They can't do most of the
No.
things. It's painful.
No.
And so you got the whole point is
60.
you should do it now, not just because you might not be able to do it later because you could die, but it just won't be as good
Yeah,
later.
you won't enjoy it as much. Yeah, I know. So I mean, like that's basically how I live my life. I mean, I'm almost living like
61.
in a manic, like trying to do as much as I can now, and like in I don't want to say in a crazy way, but
62.
in a designed way, I would say. Like because I'm very aware of that. I was very aware like when
63.
my parents were getting older. And they lived in Florida, and I lived in Atlanta. I wasn't seeing them that often. Maybe I'd see them like 4 or 5 times a year. Recognizing,
64.
like, man, if they live another 10 years, like I'm only seeing them 2 or 3 times a year. Like I don't have 10 years, I have 20 visits.
Right?
When I
65.
started to like look at things like that, and now I'm looking at that with my kids too. I like to look at things in 5-year increments.
Okay.
So if
66.
my son now is a sophomore in high school, so in 5 years from now, my whole
67.
world
He's
is
in a totally different phase of life.
Yeah, in 5 years from now, my whole life looks different. So right now, everything's great. All my kids are home.
68.
Sarah's parents are alive. I lost my parents. Within the last 5 years, I lost both my parents. But in 5
69.
years from now, all my other kids are in high school. My oldest is out of the house. I'm almost an empty nester.
Yeah.
70.
Sarah's parents and those that are older in their 80s, they're now in their 90s. It's a whole different chapter.
Yeah. Sure.
So you got to think about that, and that will help you think about, at least in my case, how I want to live out this year, 2026, and beyond. That really dictates. Do I want to go on that trip, or do I want my son's only here for 2 more years?
Right.
Am I back by 6 o'clock?
71.
Those decisions, they're like magnified and multiplied, and it's a really important lens to look through.
72.
Versus like, oh yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow. And
No, I had one of those where I was like, you know what, like, I get to pick my own schedule. Like, I was like, you know what, maybe I'm just, like, not going to come into the office 1 day a week. And then I'll just spend more time, like, kind of like, I've been thinking about it, and my wife and I have been talking about it. I was like,
73,
oh,
I think.
You know what, like, this year I'm going to do it. And then I was like, wait, like, I missed it. Like,
74.
me not going to the office on Friday doesn't do anything because I still have to take them to school. Like,
Right.
I might as well go into the office after I drop them off from school. Like, there was
95.
a time when that would have been really powerful and important. And this is, I think, a lesson just beyond parenting. Is like, as you're making these plans, actually
96.
the value of those plans is often disappearing, or the ROI is diminishing as you go. Like,
yeah,
I could have been there
77.
this time, but they're like, what are you doing here? Like,
yeah,
what did you do all day? Like, that little thing is gone. That opportunity just where they're at home all day.
77.
They're not at home all day. And by the way, they want to do stuff that doesn't involve me.
yeah.
On Friday. Like that's what's always changing. So you're always telling yourself, hey, I'm going to get to it later.
78.
That's something else that Seneca talks about. Is the one thing all fools have in common is they're always getting ready to start. So you're making the plan, you say you're going to do it, but like, the
79.
whole point is you got to fucking do it now. Because now is when the math on it actually works, not years from now.
Yeah, the last 3 years I've taken
80.
trips with a group of friends. There's about 10 guys, and we rode our bike across America. We went to Finland to tour the best saunas in the world. We went on a sauna tour of Finland. We did rim to rim to rim at the Grand
Did
Canyon.
you do that one where you jump in the actual, like through the hole in the ice?
Yeah, in the Baltic. We did it all. And when I first sent out the email, hey guys, when we go to Finland, you know, I literally wrote like, I know you're gonna say like I don't have the time
Yeah,
or whatever.
practical.
Put this down
Yeah.
and build around it. We're going to Finland, you know, and that's been like, and we've done it. And for the last 3 years, it was never the right. 2
82.
weeks to bike across America. You're never gonna have everyone's got jobs.
I think you
kids.
can meet you whenever you do it.
It's never gonna be the right time.
Yeah.
You know, so let's just do it.
Yes.
And we're so glad we did it. And here's the interesting thing
83.
about that. This is crazy, but of the 10 guys that did these trips with me, I only knew one of them 10 years ago. So I got this new friend group
84.
From the
from doing these things. It's like, and that didn't exist in my life like 10 years ago. And I think a lot of people as they get older think like, where's my
85.
tribe, or you know, I don't know, or like, and
It's
it's
just
just
gonna give you one.
no, they're not. You got to go and make an effort. And,
86.
and not everybody wants that, you know, but it's been amazing, you know.
I think there's something about like the Misogi thing, like doing challenges.
87.
Like, so for Daily Stoke, we do this thing called New Year, New Year. It's 21 days of like challenges, and the whole point is they're like fucking hard. Like, how do you spend the first 21 days of the year doing something
88.
challenging? And like some of them are more challenging than others. Some are physical, some are mental, some are spiritual, whatever. But I do think there's something about like doing hard stuff that's really good for you.
89.
Like, there's big hard stuff like I'm gonna bike across America, and there's also big hard stuff like, you know what, I'm gonna clean out that drawer in the kitchen that has become a doom bin of just
90.
everything. Like, I'm gonna do this thing that I don't wanna do so I can be the person who did it.
And that draw's so hard I can't even do it.
Exactly.
I can't even do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's easier to run 100 miles than clean out that drawer.
Yeah.
Or to like, mine is like, I'm usually more of like an inbox zero person. And it's like, I'm gonna like declare email bankruptcy and wipe. I'm gonna start with 0 emails on January. That's
I
like
do
one of
that.
my goals.
Oh, I nuke my emails in
Yeah.
December. I go to 0.
Yeah.
Delete all.
Yeah.
Every year. Yeah, I mean, a big thing for me is coming into the new year light. That's like a theme. Like, I want to come into the new year as light as possible. I don't want to carry a lot of stuff over. So that there's a process that I do.
Yeah.
The first thing that I do is I clean out my closet. That
91.
might sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go into a closet with 8,000 things I don't wear.
Yeah.
So I just have a very simple rule. If I look at something and I'm like, should I keep it or not? Then I
92.
would say someone needs it more than me, and it goes in the donate box.
Yes.
So I come in, I take care of my closet, I get it as lean as possible. Then I go to my desk. I get rid of all the papers,
83.
everything around that, car, everything gets clean. Emails, done. Subscriptions I don't need, done, deleted. Like, I literally spent, what does every business do at the end of the year?
They balance the books.
They balance the
94.
books, they do an audit, they do a review.
Sure.
I do the same thing with my life.
Yeah.
And I'm going through, I haven't started yet this year, but I'll start to do that in, this is
95.
January, so-
December. Yeah, January.
in-
Yeah.
But I will have done that, by the time this airs, I will go through all of that stuff, cleaning everything out, and email's a part of it, and I wanna come into it like, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna
96.
come into January behind.
Yeah.
I wanna attack January, like,
Yeah.
clean, light, and I just call it coming in light, you know? And, it's a process. All right, thank you.
97.
Yeah, I read that. That seems like a good foundation. How you wrap up the year, right? How many people do you write thank you notes to?
Anywhere from 25 to 50 normally.
Handwritten?
Handwritten. Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, handwritten notes hit so much harder.
98.
That lightens it for you because you're like closing
It up.
You're balancing your debt, or you're canceling out your debts or whatever.
A little bit. It's also a habit that when I was 22, so like between the ages of 18
99.
I slept on 18 different friends' couches. They were putting me up, trying to figure out how I'd be as an entrepreneur, and trying to make it as an entrepreneur. And I failed in everything, so I needed couches. And I didn't have a lot of money, but my entire marketing campaign and networking
100.
campaign at that time was to write handwritten letters. I wrote 10 a day. I wrote 3,000 in 1 year. Literally, I'm not kidding. Postcards, I would send them to everybody. And it stuck with me because people would like remember them. Like, no, not everyone checks their emails or their DMs. Everyone reads their mail.
Well, especially
30
now,
minutes.
Getting a handwritten card is like even more out of the
Yeah.
the blue.
You'll get, when I run into people whose podcasts I was on, usually I write like there's 8 billion people in the world and you chose me to be on your podcast, like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. You
Let's
know?
cut it off right here.
That's another one. Like
Have a good
people
day.
they're like, I'd like to be more grateful.